Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Just Weeby. We're going to go ahead and cover Jay Jones and the media on how they're portraying him, particularly NBC, MSNBC, I believe. So stick around, and we're going to cover that along with what they perceive as nonviolent protests. I guess you think you already know what that means. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Looks like we have endless supply of these type of items. Anyway, I guess before I start, I should say, for those interested in travel, please go over to our travel channel. Check me out over there, Ready Set Travel. For those that just want to break from all the nonsense, clear your head, get out of this political shit, you can go ahead and check me out over on Weeby Games, where I like to also dive out of this and just clear my head with some video games. But unfortunately, or fortunately, we get to poke fun at the Democrats, and sorry for the background noise. So let's go ahead and get started here. Here we go. This is how the media is reporting on the Jay Jones.
Virginia Republicans are continuing their calls for Democratic Attorney General candidate Jay Jones to drop out of the race, hoping to keep the spotlight on the controversy over his dark text messages from 3 years ago that recently reemerged. Virginia voters are also processing this October surprise as they continue to cast early ballots. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey spoke with them about the impact this is having on their decision. She's live in Fairfax.
You notice how calm they're reporting on it. It's like it's nothing. It's under the bridge, water under the bridge. Nothing's going on. It's just their tone and the way they're reporting. And this is NBC. So.
With the latest. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Ann. Well, there's no question that the controversy surrounding Jay Jones is landing with voters. Every single one we spoke to today was aware of his 2022 text messages suggesting that former House Speaker Todd Gilbert received, quote, 2 bullets to the head. But we only spoke to one person who changed his vote as a result. Still, all the voters we spoke with expect
Hold up.
This will have an impact and possibly on all.
Yeah, of course it will have an impact. But did you notice what she just said there? Only one voter changed their mind. So they're really downplaying
on all 3 statewide races.
Oh.
I spoke to one person who changed his vote as a result. Text messages suggesting that former House Speaker Todd Gilbert received, quote, 2 bullets to the head. But we only spoke to one person who changed his vote as a result. Still, all the voters we spoke with expect.
So she only talked to one person that's going to change their vote because of this. So everybody else she talked to is okay with it. Yeah, she's lying out her ass.
This will have an impact and possibly on all 3 statewide races. Virginia voters casting early ballots now weighing a disturbing revelation about text messages sent by Democratic Attorney General candidate Jay Jones.
It was a mistake, and I think he'll probably pay the price for that.
NBC News confirms in 2022, Jones sent text to GOP delegate Kerry Coyner expressing his displeasure with then House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Jones writing, if he had 2 bullets for 3 people and one of those people was the speaker, Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Coyner also says Jones later called her and suggested he wished Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert would reconsider his stance. Jones has apologized to Gilbert and his family, saying he's, quote, embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry. But this Republican voter who had planned to...
Bullshit. That is bullshit. He's only saying he's sorry because, like as usual, they were caught. Oh. Oh, yo. Let's continue.
split his ticket and cast a ballot for Jones, says he voted for the incumbent, Jason Miyares, instead.
I think this last episode with Jones, it just simply, it's going to have an impact, a big impact, because you really can't get past it.
And he lost your vote or your potential vote because of it.
Yes.
This Democrat, though, says he had no reservations about voting for Jones.
It did not. It did not make a big deal to me.
Scott in Virginia.
Yeah, of course it didn't make a big deal to them because they're more freaking worried about power and having the Democrat in the seat. Oh, by the way, this is for the Attorney General of Virginia, in case you didn't know. Yeah, and he's not withdrawing. And some of those voters are still okay after the text messages that were posted is out. Oh, yeah. Stupid does what
Garrison
stupid
described
does.
themselves as independent voters who are backing all three statewide Democratic candidates this time to send a message to Donald Trump and Republicans in Washington.
The way they're running the world is not the way I want it to be run.
But the couple concedes the Jones text messages are
The way that Trump runs the world. So you're better off with Biden. That's basically what he's saying. So you're better off with a dip in the White House that would be willing to take money from China. Yes, let's not forget the son working for Burmesa. What they did over in Ukraine. We got a ton of videos on that I've noticed over the years. So no, I'm not totally blind to this. I've already woken up to all this crap. I've woken up to this crap probably, like I said before, 10, 15 years ago. Maybe even longer. I started waking up at the time of the Patriot Act, and it's not a one-side issue. It is. It was Republicans back then and Democrats. But what they don't like about Trump is Trump came in. He's an outsider, so he had come in to actually change all this, and they did change a lot in the Republican Party. They got in a lot of Republicans that are actually not for the government to be running things like they were. And really and truly, if they need to repeal anything, I think they need to go back and start taking a look at the Patriot Act also. There was a lot of stuff in that was unconstitutional.
troubling.
You know, he's apologized for it. I don't know. I was really, that was the one I had the largest pause on in the voting booth. And I just kind of had to say, to me, it's the general message that needs to be sent.
Voters now also wondering whether the disclosure about the Jones text will shape the election's outcome.
Yeah, the general message that needs to be sent. We don't give a shit of what crimes they commit. They can commit murder. They can go rob all the stores. They can burn them to the ground. They'll have our vote as long as they're Democrat and they try to enforce the policies that we would like in place. That's pretty much what these voters are saying. Think about that. And how far gone do you have to be that you would put Gaddafi in charge? That's exactly what they think, though. They think Trump is Gaddafi. How about they go live in Syria? How about they go live in Venezuela for a little bit underneath that type of rule? And then they would actually see what that type of rule is. But that's actually what they're trying to bring into the States, and they're just too dumb to realize it. They really are. No, I'm not all for everything that the Republicans do, that's for sure. I'm more of a constitutionalist. That's what the country was built on. That's what your freedoms are built on. And I know what their argument is whenever it comes to Trump trying to deploy the National Guards and all that. But you need to understand that, or they need to understand, I should say, that he does have that power. That power is written through amendments and acts of Congress. Yes, acts of Congress that goes against the Constitution can technically be illegal, but they're still there. And they've been used before. They act like it's the first time in our history that this stuff has ever been used. And it hasn't. I know I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and continue with Jay Jones.
Most believe it could hurt Jones.
Having that come out was definitely not helpful.
The other worry for those voting Democratic, will the controversy drag down gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger, who in recent polls has had a double-digit lead over her GOP opponent Winsome Earle-Sears. Spanberger has said she was, quote, disgusted by Jones' texts.
Oh, this is their debate, which I was going to get to, but I wanted to read this
Opponent
text
Winsome
message.
Earle-Sears. Spanberger.
Here we go. After learning of these comments, I spoke frankly with Jay about my disgust with what he had said and texted. I made clear to Jay that he must fully take responsibility for his words. You'll notice in the upcoming clip here that I got that she still supports him. This is a problem. This is their problem. It's not just his problem. It is their problem as far as Democrats, as the party goes. You are going to still support him. How? Because you're not asking him to withdraw or step down. You're not. A matter of fact, she still endorsed his campaign, and she's never pulled it. I've got this next section and a full one that will be coming up, but right now we're just going to go over, and I'm going to show a small clip here.
Has said she was, quote, disgusted by Jones' texts.
And that he must leave the race because Jay Jones advocated the murder, Abigail, the murder of a man, a former speaker, as well as his children who were 2 and 5 years old. You have little girls. What would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail? You're running to be governor.
Yeah, she's running to be governor. She is running to be governor, and if you notice, she just looks into outer space. She will not answer the question because she cannot answer the question. Because she will not withdraw her support for a guy that said that he wants to kill a former senator, and not only him, but the 2 kids, and have the wife watch. And this is also somebody that I think put out a tweet on police during the stuff that was going on with BLM. Just looking at her, and I've seen the other clip. I'll go over it later. I don't think I've seen the full debate, but I've seen bigger portions of it than this. And you know what she reminds me of, Abigail? The Stafford Wife, the movie, where they're all just kind of brainwashed. That's just the way she speaks, the way she acts. That's what she reminds me of. And a lot of them's that way. Well, I don't think she'll win. Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Let me know if you think that she's going to win or not. I think if she actually does win, it'll probably be rigged. That's the only way I could see that happening. I don't believe that there's that many Democrats on the left that is that far gone. I really don't. I still think that there's still a number of them that's good, that's centered. But the power structure actually has gotten these people like AOC and stuff, and that's just absolutely all in on socialist. And it's their way or the highway. And yes, I do believe that. You could just see it. They basically took in control of the Democrat Party. And I mean, just look at what's happening in Portland and Chicago, LA, here lately. The mayors are all Democrat. They will not allow the National Guard to be sent in. Hell, they shouldn't even be depending upon Trump right now. Their cops should actually be doing something, and if their cops can't handle it, the governors themselves should be sending in the National Guards without the freaking president having to step up to the plate to take over the National Guards to send it in for them, because the governors are failing their duty. And then they whine and complain like this is the first time it's been done. I tell you what, if they continue to be violent in the protests, you probably will see Trump actually enact the Insurrection Act. And no, he's not. They're going to be yelling out, oh, it's the first time in history he's a dictator. Oh, it's the first time in history. And we've stated on this channel several times before, it is not the first time in history. They lie out their ass every single time. You can just tell it by the news reports. Now, they didn't lie about this too much, but you could see how they gave the report. Let's continue.
You're running to be governor.
Two bombshell revelations about Jay Jones, the Democratic candidate for Virginia Attorney General.
Okay, so we got one here on the Hill. I think they reported a little bit better, but I did notice a few things during this report on what they had done. And yes, it's almost like siding with the Democrats again. They actually admit that he should step down. But just listen to the tone. Just listen to the tone.
General.
We spoke yesterday in My Radar about his alarming text messages in which he fantasized about the shooting of then Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates and also wished death on his kids. Those texts were leaked to the public by a fellow Virginia delegate, Carrie Coiner. She's the one who got the messages, and she's explaining this more fully, telling the New York Post that 2 years prior to those comments, in a separate conversation regarding qualified immunity for police, Jones told her, quote, well, maybe if a few of them, police, died, they would move on and not shooting people, not killing people.
Jones' comments have sparked a firestorm of backlash, with Republicans calling on Jones to drop out of the race and calling on their Democratic colleagues to urge him to drop out. So far, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger has not called on Jones to drop out, but some on the left have not been silent. Take a listen to John Heilman on Morning Joe.
Even some Democratic leaders, John Hyman, have started to say, like, look, this is inappropriate.
It's wildly inappropriate under any circumstances. Yes. Today, tomorrow, 10 years ago, 6 months ago. I think the pressure is going to be on Spanberger and for the party to ask this candidate to just.
This is MSNBC that they're showing. But yeah, just like what she was saying, Abigail would not. She actually endorsed this guy, and she will not pull her endorsement.
Just quit the race, because just both, it's the right thing, and also the political splashback. You don't want to mess with this right now.
Who says that?
I think the right thing to do is basically this guy should do everyone a favor and step out of the race.
Yeah. As a reminder, he accidentally sent these text messages to a Republican colleague, and then instead of having the reaction I think most of us would have, like, oh crap, I didn't mean it. Sorry, wrong message.
He accidentally sent it? Yeah, I don't think he accidentally sent it. Yeah, he should drop out. But they should be calling for him to drop out on the Democrat side. She should actually go back and say, no, I pulled my endorsement and he should drop out. But they're so diehard that they want to sit there and talk about Trump being Hitler and all those around him being Nazis, when in fact they're the ones that are the brown shirts for the Nazis themselves. You can just look at it right there. That says everything. Where she's on the stage staring into outer space. She won't answer the question. Stafford wife, whichever. But anyway, it's just so mind-boggling on how far down the rabbit hole you can possibly go. let's get back into it again.
And this is out of context. He then continued to argue with her, justifying why he had said that and why he genuinely feels that way. It's really disturbing stuff, especially the talk about the kids. Look, I'm more skeptical than a lot of other people about violent or overheated or warlike rhetoric in politics actually having some real world effect. But this is a moment where there's been the murder, assassination of Charlie Kirk, political violence, concerns about that. So it's just not a good moment for this kind of thing to come up. And again, it wasn't just like the overheated remark at the it was genuinely wishing for his kids, who he called fascists or Nazis, to die. Really, just very disturbing, unprofessional. If you're running for political office, you gotta, I don't like that we all have to sanitize how we speak to each other so much these days, but if you're running for political office, don't put that in a text message, you idiot. It almost betrays stupidity.
Well, you talk a lot about social media being a place where unfiltered thoughts, and sometimes people might think something crazy, but they'll, might say it on social media. I guess when you're running, you would think that you would keep that out of a text message, even though that's still a crazy thought to me.
Because it gets stripped of context.
But when you say something ridiculous to me one time, it's like, okay, maybe you're trying to entertain somebody, you thought they might laugh about something, but when you say something 3 times that involves killing or death and talking about cops now and there's several messages, you actually have a little bit of a problem. And so I'm not mad at people calling him to step down. I don't know.
It's not a little bit of a problem. It's a big problem. Very, very big problem. And that's how they kind of downplay. Oh, it's a little bit of a problem. Problem my ass. It's more than a problem.
That the gubernatorial candidate needs to jump in. She can just say, okay, I'm in the middle of a race and I'm winning and I want to move forward. That's not my problem, because no one has to take on a burden of somebody else's day.
She's talking about Abigail there. Yeah, pretty much that's what she did though. She's like, it's not my problem. That's his own problem. I've got my own race to run. That's not the problem. The problem is she will not, she may disavow her statement or his statement that he had made. She says it's repugnant and all that. But the fact of the matter is she will not pull her endorsement of the guy and tell him he should step down. That is a disgrace in itself.
Damage that they've done to themselves and bring it onto their campaign in a winning position. However, there are plenty of people that can speak out if they would like to say, we condemn this type of violence. I think that studies have shown us that a lot of violence is not pointed to the left. And so...
Yeah, I got that at the end, so I had to put in this video. You heard what she just said. I'm going to replay that.
Like to say we condemn this type of violence. I think that studies have shown us that a lot of violence is not pointed to the left. And so
so studies have showed us that violence is not pointed to the left. I think we all know that's bullshit. That's propaganda. That's why they are called by Trump fake news, because they are fake news. They're more than fake news. They're propagandists. Because we all have the video evidence. And speaking of the brown shirts, these are where the brown shirts kind of originated. The BLM movements, if you want to call them movements, they weren't movements. They were riots. They were burning cities. And the Democrats supported it. They did not send in the police hardly to take care of it. They let the cities burn. Matter of fact, whenever they arrested them, AOC, I think, some of them actually put up bail for some of them people. Think of that. Anyway, let's get into the closing clip. I've got a closing clip here that I'd found for the where it really kind of started with the Summer of Love, what they call the Summer of Love. So this was their peaceful protest. And this shit's what's going on right now in Portland and everything. Not to this extent, Oh, I've got to pause this because I want to say something on that. No, it's not to this extent because I think they're smart enough to know if they went all out like they did here back in 2020, Trump would use the Insurrection Act and all their asses would be in jail. You're looking at, several years in prison. They would not be out on bail with AOC. Matter of fact, the AOC and them might actually wind up there. Hopefully not. We don't want Trump to go down that road. We don't really want that. They're the ones that are pushing that. Oh, yeah. Oh. Here we go. Finish up. Remember, this was a peaceful protest. You remember what CNN said. Mostly peaceful protest. While the stores were burning in the background, and I remember it was Wisconsin, I believe. Someplace around Milwaukee, one of the suburbs, someplace up in there. You remember it was on CNN. The stores were burning in the background, and people were running out of the stores, walking right behind the news reporters. I remember a couple of them carrying, they had a dolly, and they had a washer and dryer on the dollies, and they was walking right by the reporters, and the reporters were saying, this is a mostly peaceful protest. And you're supposed to be dumb enough to believe it. And some of them are dumb enough to believe it. Except for the ones that are actually doing it. This was in Portland, 2020. You remember that? When the police station was on fire? Doing the same shit they're doing today with lighting.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people.
They should be beanbagging them.
When you should be getting after it.
Beanbagging them and running out and cuffing them, just like the Ice Ages are doing right now.
I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know what that
this is protest, remember. Peaceful protest. Stores are empty, shooting fireworks at the police. This is what they stand for. Not a single Democrat actually put this shit down. They all said it was mostly peaceful. But yet you have video after video after video of this shit, and it's still happening.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this,
and a lot of this Antifa was a part of also. Minneapolis.
Incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead of say.
So this is a reminder to the MSN host that said the left was mostly peaceful.
If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant modern kingdom.
A lot of these people could be identified still on video doing this. They filmed themselves and they did nothing.
I don't never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
That's their peaceful protest. That's what they allowed to happen.
For the fakeness, if you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
We're at the end here. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and transition. There we go. Yeah, that should be enough to piss almost anybody off. And then you got the media sitting there acting like it never happened. It's right on film, and same shit goes all the way back. Everybody knows it, from Biden with his deal in Ukraine, where he said, where he was actually joking about having the prosecutor fired for investigating his son. Yeah, there might have been some evidence of the prosecutor actually having some corruption going on. But the whole point is he was there, his son was involved in corruption, and he was having the prosecutor looking at his son removed using, well, what they like to say, quid pro quo. He actually did that. And then they tried to pin everything on Trump with Russia. We got a lot to go through. A lot. I still want to go back and cover some of that stuff. Wish I'd started into this some years ago. But you kind of get irritated with seeing all the crap. And that's why, like I said, I got the gaming channel. I actually started with the gaming channel, or actually started with Ready, Set, Travel. And we went down into Mexico with, whenever I started that, started it actually the year. No, I actually started whenever COVID hit. We started going down to Florida. We had some relatives down in Florida. So to get away from all that shit, because even where we were at, they were wanting to do the face masks and all that bullshit. And I was looking at it, seeing a 0.3% or no, 3%. And sitting there looking at the statistics where they were treating this almost like Ebola. And I was looking at the statistics on it. It doesn't make any sense. I've seen how the media was covering it, saying that more people had died than the Spanish flu. And yeah, maybe more people died than the Spanish flu in New York on that particular day at that particular time. But I was watching a documentary on that 3 or 4 months before that. No, more people died in Spain, hence the Spanish flu, whenever they had the outbreak over I think it was just a week or two. More people died in that than what they pretended. They exaggerated the numbers. They said more people died in New York than the Spanish flu. And that's not the case. That was not the case at all. And I knew that. And I was sitting there looking at the statistics, and it was like 3 to 5%. Whenever most people, well, not most, let me think of what I was going to say here. Ebola at a 75% fatality rate. The Black Death at a 96% fatality rate. And here you had a virus that you could catch like a common cold, and they're telling you to cover your face with a mask that does not do any good. Have you ever seen that work for a common cold? It hasn't. But yet you have airborne items like Ebola and stuff with 76 and 96. 6% fatality rate, and they was going around doing lockdowns like it was Ebola. Think about that. Anyway, that's the rant. So maybe I'll get into some more videos on the COVID bullshit that they even censored and didn't allow people to talk about on YouTube. Yeah, I actually should do that one. With their government, if you remember that, underneath Biden, misinformation. They was going to set up the Department of Misinformation, something out of Harry Potter. You know, where they was going to determine what information you should hear. That is communism. That is China. That was Soviet Union. And they were so blind that they was, oh yes, 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 we need to do that. We need to do that. And the media was pushing it. And the media pushed everything. I mean, it's blatant. It's blatant. I have to agree with a lot of people that's on the podcast and stuff. Their days are numbered. Their days are numbered. There's too many people that's awake to the bullshit. There's too many people that sees it. It's right in their face. How can they not see it? And you still will have groups that, like the Democrat there in Virginia, they will ignore it so that they can remain in power. That's all it's about. They will totally ignore all the crimes so they can remain in power. That's aiding and abetting, by the way. Anyway, I'm going to cover the Virginia governor debate there that we showed a small clip of here a while ago. So I think I'll have that for the next video. I've seen some stuff on Don Lemon and them doing interviews in Chicago. I'm thinking about maybe doing a few videos on that as well. But anyway, like and subscribe. It just helps our content out. It helps the algorithm. So please help us out there, and go over and do the same thing over on Ready Set Travel. If you're into travel, if you'd like to see some of that, like I said, we spent a total of like a year, over a 2-year span. So it was 6 months and then 4 or 5 months. So we spent almost a whole year down in Mexico. We traveled 14 of the 26 states. So I wouldn't mind getting into some of the travel videos also again. I may show a few up on this channel. But any of you that's getting tired of this and just want a little fun, go over to Weebee Games and like and subscribe on both of those channels. Help me out on that. Like I said, it just helps it out on the analytics, and it'll help push the videos forward. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this. I kind of really enjoy doing this. So I think I'll do the governor's race next, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the video there. Thanks for watching.